Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Wild Man Revolution podcast. Oh, the world continues to get crazier and crazier, or does it? We're going to get to that very, very soon. If you haven't already, if you've tuned in, if you're tuning in for the first time, thank you for being here. Please click the subscribe, the like, the notifications. Once you listen, if you love it, please leave a review. If there's stuff you want to hear, please let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave a comment, ask some questions, interact, and again, subscribe, like all the things. It just helps me get this out there. It helps me get my message out to the world, which is a big part of my mission. Not only with the Wild Man Revolution podcast to highlight there are amazing men doing great things in the world, but there are great things happening in the world in amongst this perceived ensuing chaos that keeps manifest to the surface all around us. Now, another thing I've got going on at the moment is, you'll see I've been wearing the Wild Man Revolution t-shirts. I've got a free giveaway at the moment until the t-shirts run out. I've still got a bunch there. Again, the way you can get your hands on these, I'll turn around, see if I can turn around on here with the headphones on. Probably not the best promo, but it's got that on the back as well. And in there too, this is really, really important. I'm going to get to the motto here at Wild Man Revolution. We have respect does not mean we agree. I'm going to get to that because it's basically the theme of today. And it's something that I'm going to kick off today's podcast with. But to get your hands on the free t-shirts, please subscribe, like, leave a review, screenshot the review, send it to me personally. I'll respond to you personally, and I'll get them out. Depending where you are in the world at the moment too, I'll be real with this. I'll be a realist. It's just me running down to the post office to send these out for now. So, but I would love you to get your hands on these. Great cotton material. Bad Mojo is the company that's put these together. Troy is an artist. So it's not just a simple print that I've got there. I've put some love into this and put some effort into this and got the right people behind it to get these out here because I like wearing a good t-shirt myself. Anyway, it's enough. It's enough. We have respect does not mean we agree. Now, I've mentioned this a number of times on the podcast. And I bring that in to start here today because I'm going to share some stuff today that's probably going to, well, it should blow a lot of your people's minds, but it might catch you off guard. It might bring some triggers up. It might raise some eyebrows. It might have you feel angry or frustrated. It is intended to give a perspective and an insight that may be different. Maybe different than what's been jammed down so many people's throats right now by the mainstream media. I'm not the first to talk about this. There are hundreds of people out there talking about it, but we've got to be available to listen to what could be an alternate perspective or insight, a bit of information, again, that what we have been jammed down our throat. Now, unless you're hiding under a rock right now, you might have noticed a shift in the last few days of all the narratives from the Rona, I call it the Rona, the boogeyman, whatever you believe about that, it's had a huge impact on humanity. It's left an imprint going forward. But the shift that's come, war, war, war. Is it war? Who knows? Like, seriously. But I'll go back to, we have respect does not mean we agree. When we can have this sort of a belief system, because it's a belief. All right. If I have respect for someone expressing their truth. Now, a lot of you out there have lost respect for the mainstream media, and fair enough too, because they're literally just puppets sprouting off a teleprompter, like Go Brandon in the US, their earpiece in, just regurgitating what they're told to say and what they're paid to say. But even in that, if you're taking in that information, if you're going to get perspective or insight, that helps give you perspective and insight to maybe what the energy is behind that. And then when you feel the energy behind that and you're like, well, something feels off with this, or it might feel right, whatever it is for you. I don't think there's many listeners or people watching in here that have followed me for a while that are still watching the mainstream media. But again, we take in this information everywhere. Socials is really bad. all the socials loaded with news from mainstream media. It mightn't come under the guise of that, but it is. But anyway, if we can have respect for an opinion or someone's perspective, if we can have respect while we're taking in information or tuning into the energy behind the information, practicing discernment, it stops us from cutting it off. Now, if we pick up on the energy that something feels off, we catch that and we honor that. And maybe we don't need to take in any more information. And I would encourage you to do that. I would encourage everyone listening in now to really practice tuning into that gut feel, that intuition, that little nudge on the inside. And if you're even flicking on the mainstream media right now, that thing should be going fucking nuts. But again, maybe this is your first time tuning in, and maybe you need to hear this. You need to feel this. Maybe you're tuning in, listening to me, and the perspective I'm going to share is way out of whack from what you've been thinking or feeling. And you're like, how could you even say that? If you have respect, it means you're not going to cut off. Now, if you've got discernment and you're tuning in and go, oh, that's a different perspective, you might feel something like intuitively to go, okay, I think I need to listen more. Something feels like, yeah, it might be bringing up some triggers, might be triggering what I thought was reality or not, but I'm going to tune into the deeper meaning behind this. I'm going to tune into what's really going on and be okay that these triggers may not be because this is bullshit, may not be because this is something that's outside my model of the world. And a model of the world, everyone has a different model of the world. This is where the belief really stems from. When we grow up, we take in all this information, we form our model of this external reality. We all experience it differently, and we're all programmed differently. Two kids growing up, same household, they probably will see the world very, very differently. There might be similarities, but they have a different model of the world. And when our model of the world is shaken by something that we see, hear, or feel that doesn't fit in that model, it will trigger something inside. Generally, it could be fear. The powers of the be, the powers of the world, powers that think they be. Well, there's a sign right there. Powers that used to run the world are fucked. And what's ensuing overseas right now is evidence of that. Evidence. But back to this strong belief system, if we can have respect, this doesn't just play out when we're taking in news or information. Because realistically, guys, when I do a close on this today, I'm going to let you really know why you don't need any more information about what's going on in the fucking world right now. But I want to talk about it. I want to give you some framework, some context. And this has me really fired up. But back to it, if everyone has a different model of the world and we see things differently, we actually need to have respect. We need to be able to learn to listen. Listening is a key part of communication. It's actually something that people really need to work on right now, myself included. I've got a little 3.5-year-old that's taught me so many different things about really listening and being present. But if you have something that comes into your model of the world that doesn't fit it, but your model of the world's not working, your reality is not how you want it to be, you actually need to pause to be able to take something in. Because you've called in this moment, this conversation, tuning into this podcast, someone that sent you something, and you're like, oh, wait, okay, that's bullshit, but why has this come into my reality right now? Now, if your world is perfect, if your model of the world, if your reality is perfect, your health's perfect, your relationship is perfect, your money's perfect, your business is perfect, your mind is great, you're grounded in your center, none of this shit fucking applies to you. But I can guarantee that none of you are living the perfect life. You can improve on at least something. I'm focusing on improving every day. There's always something I can improve on. Always something. Something I'll let you know. I'll be real right now. Procrastination, for me, a high achiever. But I noticed that sometimes procrastination will keep in because I kept setting bigger goals and all my stuff will come up and I'll be blah, blah, blah. This was happening today. I had a little bit of a nap in the middle of the day and I got up and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to think about and sit with thoughts. Should be doing this, could be doing this. And I don't know if you can see in the background here. This is a good, like, pass on from there. Been doing some breath work before I jumped on here because I had a lot of energy inside. I had a lot of stuff coming up in my head. It wasn't bad stuff. It was just stories that were keeping me from doing anything. Because I've really, really wanted to talk about this now, and I've really wanted to put this into the podcast. I can talk about this on Facebook and Instagram and all that sort of shit where I get shadow banned, but this is where I really feel I can flow. This is where I really feel that you can see, hear, and feel me without being here in person with me. So I've been cranking up the breath work. Powerful podcast you would have checked out if you haven't already, from Joby Bowie. Check that out, Breathe to Heal. Amazing, amazing. But anyway, back to it. If something goes outside our model of the world, it comes into our reality. We've called that into our reality for a reason. Now, whether there's a resonance, whether we're feeling fear, or whether we've got some guilt and shame coming up, whether there's some sadness, whether there's some anger or frustration, whatever the emotion is, there's some resonance. You might have attracted in something with that vibration. That's how it works. And I'm not going the fluffy new age fucking shit here. No, that's how everything works in the thing. Everything is a vibration. And just something in out there for the fluffy stuff too. High vibration just isn't happiness, joy, and everything like that. There's other high vibrations like anger. It is a high vibration. It's just scattered. It's just chaotic. There's a lot of chaos in the world right now. A lot of people that are angry. And not only that, it's our power. It's our superpower when we get to feel it and we get to there. But if we're attracting in these situations into our reality, into our model, and they don't fit the model, we're going to get triggered. It's as simple as that. Now, it doesn't have to be a bad trigger where, oh my God, the world is ending. Or it might be just something that's like, oh, what's going on here? We've got to get curious. Curiosity. It's like that bridge. If something's come on in. It's like that inner child, you could say. It's like, oh, what's this? This is new. This is different. Haven't seen this in my model of the world before. I better check this out. But again, if your model of the world is great, nothing's going to trigger you. So this doesn't apply to any of you, that life is great. But I can guarantee that each and every one of you can improve in one area of life. And this is what I love about helping people too. When I start working with people personally, whatever they've got to work on, whether it's in the world of trauma or the success coaching or anything like that, go to their model of the world. What's going on in their reality? I check in with it every day, all over my wall. You'll see the whiteboard over here. I've got whiteboards over there. Some people say it's a bit full on, but it keeps me accountable. It keeps me accountable if my reality is not good, if there's some things I can improve on. How's my connection with self? How am I feeling? How's my emotional well-being? How's my health? How's my business going? I've got all this stuff here to keep me accountable to my goals. Am I setting goals? Are they big enough? Are they exciting me? If you're not doing this sort of stuff out there either, and you're just floating through life, again, if your reality is awesome, sweet. What's happening on the other side of the planet shouldn't bother you, then should it? Or maybe you've got a big part in it. Maybe it's your mission and purpose to share information on it. If you're sharing information, please have some sort of container that you're helping people with that information you're frying them with too, because not everyone is equipped to handle what's going on in their reality at the moment. That's what I'm passionate about sharing this for. Is being able to give the tools to people to be equipped to handle what's going on. Because sometimes we can't help. If it's news, if it's things that's coming from the government, look at the last 2 years and lockdowns and stuff like that. It's pushed a lot of people into situations where they've got to look at their reality closer. They've got to bring awareness to certain parts they might not have looked at before. Maybe there's family stuff going on, relationship stuff. It's all been brought to the surface now. So when they drop some sort of fucking perceived bomb, and I pardon the pun, but it's true, with a war, of course that's going to catch people's attention. Of course. That's come into your reality. Oh my God. And on an unconscious level, wild man, revolution, that wild inside that's been taken away from so many fucking men through conditioning and programming, through the conditioning and programming of war. And I'm not saying there's a war overseas right now. And again, go back to it. We have respect does not mean we agree. This is just my perspective. This is to challenge your model of the world. This is to challenge each and every one of your models of the world. What if I threw in there that I think Putin's doing a good thing for humanity? Would that trigger you? Now I'm happy to bend on that because everything's not black and white. But what if I shared that I really truly believe that things need to get really, really messy before they get better? I don't want anyone to die or get hurt or anything like that. But if you want a perspective that takes you out of the here and now of what the propaganda and the mainstream media are feeding down so many millions of people's throats and what they've done for so long, how many fucking people have they hurt? How many people have died because of that? How many people have got mental problems now? Family breakups, family breakdowns, that are broke, that are homeless because of that shit and the people behind that and the injustices they have served on the planet. What about the Bill Gates of the world who sit there, picture of health, that motherfucker? I love Joe Rogan calling him out, but this wrinkly dude giving health advice, jabbing people all over the world. I'm pro-choice, by the way. I couldn't give two shits what people do with their body unless they're not fucking complaining about it and dragging people down because they're fucking not looking after it. Or if it's impacting their lives and the lives of their family and others that don't need that. Pro-choice, but we've got these rich motherfuckers, and I've got so nothing against being rich. Fuck no. But these puppets behind the scenes that have been instigating and setting up wars for a long, long time. The banking cartel. If you haven't educated yourself on the banking system by now, please get out from under that rock. The information is at your fingertips. I don't need to regurgitate it. The Rothschilds and the higher ups beyond that, the petrodollar, all these things. What's really, really in the ground over there? What's really in the ground in Australia? Resources, all this stuff. Guys, there's so much more going on right now than some big bad boogeyman going in and invading a so-called country. If there's any Ukrainian friends out there, have a look. Just question, I'm dropping. Why haven't you joined NATO? Is really a country? Just putting it out there. What happened in 1991? Some little droppers there for you. Again, I go back to it. This is designed. War is designed. You'll notice how Putin, Vladimir Putin, good guy, bad guy, doesn't matter. He hasn't declared war. Wouldn't a tyrant declare war? We're taking over your country. It's a military operation. Military operations are going everywhere. Do you know what Australia at the moment? They snuck this one in. There's a military operation going on up and down the east coast of Australia now, where they put out a press release where they said, if you see army on the street, this is right. It's just a military operation. It's nothing. We're just practicing all this sort of stuff. Oh, fuck. This is not fear-mongering. Yeah, I'm not putting out fear for you guys. This is just stuff they release. This is stuff they talk about. It's out there. The war games happening all the time. And whether you want to say that it's not war, it's just a military operation and they're just going in and you say, no, that's war. It's an act of war. Who are they warring against? Why are they going into that country? Have you listened to their leader, Vladimir Putin, and what he's been very consistent, very consistent. Look at that bumbling mess over the other side of the planet who listens to Obama and his earpiece. Let's go, Brandon. That's so funny. No idea what he's saying. He's not a leader. I don't even know if that's the same dude. No conspiracy theories here, but guys, if this is drawing you in over there, and I know it's drawing a lot of people in. I know it is. I know it's drawing a lot of people away from the freedom movements. I know it's drawing a lot of people who are in these freedom movements that have done a great job over the last few years, raising awareness, but acting on that and educating people. And whether you go to the freedom convoys or protests, it doesn't matter. Freedom, men, freedom. Without our freedom and our integrity, we're nothing. I have to think about that. But I already see it's taken a lot of people away from it. A lot of people, a lot of good people are already going, focus on that. War's bad. Dictator Putin. What about all these other motherfuckers who have been sneaky as fuck? Well, what just happened in Canada? Emergencies Act. Oh no, there's a war on, take it away. No. It's a small enclave. Fuck, there's millions of people there. All right, bring in the army. Let's fucking stop them. Tyrants and dictators. Well, these premiers of these borderless states in Australia doing whatever they want and people just bowing over. That's dictatorship if you want. Or that good old politician, what's his name? Scotty from marketing. Says nothing, but sneakily puts things in. This is the play here, guys. The distraction, the deception. What is going on in your home place, your kingdom, I say, this is the key right now. Again, I can break down what I believe is going on over in Ukraine and the Soviet Union in Europe with the US. I can go to town and take you in rabbit holes for fucking hours. But that's not the point of this podcast. That's not the point of me sharing this. I do believe that great things are happening because of this mess. But unless you have some sort of role in that over there, you don't need to focus on it. This is not bypassing it. Fuck off all you spiritual people out there who say there's a spiritual bias, there's a war, people are getting hurt, you should care. I care. I give a fuck. And we should give a fuck. But I'm not going to be singing fucking Imagine All the People like these celebrity fucking idiots trying to get people in on their distraction and their deception. I'll take you back. You want to know one of the biggest distractions of all time that got forgotten by a lot of people because of conspiracy theories and all this? What happened to the trillions of dollars that Donald Rumsfeld announced went missing? Invisible paper money, by the way. Just before 9/11 happened. People forgot about it because of this traumatic thing that got imprinted and shoved down our necks. People forgot about it. So what is happening right now? What is happening? All the Rona stuff. What about all the vax injuries? Again, I'm pro-choice. Not having. If you chose to go vaccinated, your choice. Power to you. But what about all the vax injuries? The numbers are on the government websites. What about all these pharmaceutical companies dumping all their millions of shares and all their millions of dollars right now? What are they trying to distract us from? This is what you need to focus on. What is going on? What has been going on in our home fucking kingdoms for eons. This gets to end right fucking now. This is the revolution. Again, if you've got your shit sorted, if your kingdom's in order, your kingdom, if your health is in order, I've got it written down here. Your health, your body is in order. Awesome. If your business is going well, if it's flowing, if your clients are happy, if your staff are happy, if you've got momentum, if you're putting your ideas into action and they're bearing fruits, if your family life is happy, if your relationship is booming, if your sex life is a bedroom is rocking, your kids are giving you hugs every morning, you're spending time with them all the time. Life is great. You're living your passions. If this is all good, who gives a fuck about what's going on at home? Yeah, focus on the bigger picture. If you're living your mission and purpose and you know it's to help out with shit that's going on fucking thousands of kilometers away, fucking oath, play your part. But I tell you what, if one thing is out at home, it will have an impact on every other area. It will. 100%. This is why I catch myself when this stuff's going on in the world. I'm like, cool, do I actually need to have any energy in this? Now over there, yes, all the education I give in the crypto space, the monetary system. If you haven't checked out Luki Mekic's podcast earlier on, please tune into that. Andrew Scolari's, we touched on this, not just crypto, the bullshit banking fiat debt system that's coming to an end. There's a bit of talk now, you would have heard, oh, take the SWIFT system away from Russia. So yes, I actually need to have a focus on that, but I've got to practice massive discernment. I don't need to go down the rabbit holes of who the families are that's bluing at the moment. That has been for a long time. I don't need to go down the rabbit holes of the neo-Nazis, and you're talking more about this and the projections that are happening around that. Again, listen to what Putin's saying. I don't need to go deep into that. I've got enough of a gnosis to go, okay, I feel grounded in that. Yep, I trust what I feel from that. What I need to be able to know is what's going to happen here to the people that I serve in the world. What information do I need to give them that helps them with their business, their production, with their investments or their life, what they're doing with their passions and purpose, with their family, with their health, with their money. What's the information I need? So I've got a gnosis or a knowing that this is good, this is grounded, then I can help them navigate whatever's coming up for them to lead them forward. That's the key. It's in alignment with my mission and purpose. If it's not, or if you're not clear on your mission and purpose on this planet, there's your fucking ticker or your kicker right there. So many people I see right now are just sharing fucking information and caught in this ginormous trauma loop, perpetuated on humanity, shoved down our throat. Mainstream media, social media, influencers, good old Klaus Schwab, the Schwabble Dobble. I don't even know if the dude's human. The Great Reset book. I'm actually going to order that. I'm going to break it down for people. There's some scary shit in there that I've already seen shared. But these motherfuckers that have been pulling their puppet strings on influencers, he says it out loud. People in governments. Yeah, we've paid off influencers. Social media, that landscape, this landscape, guys. That's why you got to practice discernment. And why I'm so passionate about this is because I'm seeing so many fucking good people who are influencers, have a big network, just get sucked into one thing after the other when they're taken off their true mission and purpose. But again, if you don't have the clarity on this, maybe it's time to get some guidance on that. Ask the question. I'll take you back and I'll share this in an earlier podcast. If you don't know my background, I used to work in the mining industry, tough environment, but I was coming away from drugs and alcohol. The Pilbara in Western Australia, it's like the desert with extra heat. I enjoyed it over there, but it taught me a lot of things, and it gave me the space to break my addictions. But I lost a great mate over there who really helped me on the job. He was the only one I really confided in. He was another supervisor. I lost him to suicide over there, he killed himself. It was really, really fucking sad. He was one of the first ones that really, really felt grief and loss there. But one of the triggering questions that came out of that is, what am I fucking on this planet for? Here I am, this single dude. I've broken away from a lot of addictions, but I've got anger, I've got frustration, I'm not happy with myself, I actually hate myself, but I've got a bunch of money coming in, I've got a bunch of assets and the material things. Shit's great on the outside, but I've got no fulfillment. I don't feel good. I've got no motivation or drive anymore. What the fuck am I here? It took a great mate of mine to take his own life for me to pause and stop and say, what the fuck am I here for? Mission and purpose. Now, it didn't drop to me like that. And I've done a lot of work and I continue to do a lot of work. But now I've got a map. Now I've got a target. I've got a roadmap. And if I go off that map and I get caught up into all the bullshit that's going on around and it creates confusion, I come back to the fucking map. I come back to the roadmap. Most people listening right now, this is nothing personal. We have respect, does not mean we agree. If you got your shit sorted, sweet. Most people listening right now don't have a fucking map. You don't even have a target. You don't even have X marks the spot. I love sitting down with River. It's great. My son, River, I love sitting down with him and pirates, treasure. I always ask, where's the map? He knows where X marks the spot, and we might draw one up on a bit of paper or we'll get the Legos out. There's X, and I'll tell a story to get to the map. But there's the map. And any monsters come in, any dragons, any pirates, they're the challenges. We've got to overcome them. We've got to fight our way through it. Whatever story I tell him, there's always excitement. But we always take the challenge head on because X marks the fucking spot. And there's a dotted line. Well, there's a bunch of dotted lines that can take us there. And we won't get to X marks the spot if we keep fucking off. Or if we don't look at the map. We go, no, we're gonna go this way, we're gonna go that way. We get caught in the challenge, you get caught fighting the dragon forever. We don't really fight, or we avoid the dragon or the monster or the bad pirates. Again, I tell stories like this, and I'm super conscious when I'm telling him stories. He models everything that we do, the little ones do. I'm clear of the map. If I get out of alignment, where's the map? This stuff's my map. This stuff's my map. This stuff's my mission and purpose. And it can change. I can have ideas. Sometimes they're good ideas. Sometimes they're shit. But I give things a crack. You want to ground through this next period for humanity, people. If you want to thrive, yes, this is possible. I've had the best couple of years of my life, and there's been some monstrous challenges. But I always come back to the map. And when I achieve and accomplish some of these goals I have, what's next? What's next? If I get lost on the way, if I'm losing self-belief, if I have self-doubt come up, and we all get this, I fucking come back to the map. How can I get fucking help with this? I need support right now because my way is not working. It's not working. My way is not working. If your way is not working right now, you do what you've always done. You're going to get what you've always got. If the last 2 years hasn't taught you that you need to ground into something that inspires you, that motivates you, that drives you, if you're still stuck waiting for shit to go back to normal, there is no normal. You get to create whatever your normal is. You get to create that yourself. This is how this map is just a structure, just a masculine energy to ground into. But this needs a map. Otherwise, this stuff that the puppets, that the wizards, the magicians are spinning, keeping us in a hypnotized state, having us like that little silver ball in the pinball machine. Rona's done, lockdown's done, New South Wales, Victoria's this, Western Australia, what, Canada this, the US this. Oh, fuck, now there's a war. Oh, how dare they? Oh, no. So many people right now, so many people who have finally found their voice in the last couple of years are now giving voice to something they know fucking nothing about. Nothing about. 90% of people probably have no idea of the history of Russia, the USSR, the families behind all this, the Russian mafia, the Vatican, the banking fucking system that was created. True history in the US, in Australia. I dropped a fun fact on a live stream the other day. Do you know Alaska used to be owned by part of the USSR and some deal was done? Recent history? Was that ever in the history books at school? No. I'm not encouraging and inviting you to go back through all this. My point is, why do you need to give a voice to something over there now that this is bad, that's bad, that bad, if you have no education around it? And you might be sitting there going, Steve, tell me more. Well, what do you know about it? I know enough, like I shared earlier, to be able to lead, guide my clients, the people in my world, in my kingdom, be they clients or be they my family or my network or my peers. I get the information through practicing discernment that I need to ground into, the understanding from the awareness, to be able to lead, guide better, serve better. So I don't blindly follow. There's so much information. I just don't blindly follow anyone. I used to. Taught me enough lessons. What do I follow? My fucking map. And if there's something that I set on here that I don't understand, I don't know, I get some support now, because here's the thing, guys. Whatever you see as success, there's people out there that are thriving right now, that are doing great things in the world, that care, that have a huge heart, that are helping a lot of people, that have helped a lot of people, be it in business, be it in charity, be it just in service, be it in just being a good fucking person. If you feel like you're not being a good person right now, or you feel a bit off, go find a fucking good person. If you don't have any in your environment right now, that is your responsibility, nobody else's. If you are surrounded by fuckwits right now, or people who don't give a fuck, who don't lift you up, people who don't give a fuck about themselves, it's nothing personal. You need to get around better people. And if you're scared of doing this, like I once was, I go back to it. It took me 2 years to leave the mines when I knew I wasn't meant to be there. I was earning good coin. I was earning great coin. There's lots of zeros in my bank account there for a while. Lots of toys. I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. I chose to work harder because I was too fucking scared to get out of my comfort zone to leave for one. It took me 2 years. Then when I did, I was too scared to talk to new people, but I fucking did it. And I did it again and 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 again. No matter how scary it was, and I continue to do it to this day. It's not hard shit, guys. You don't have to buy a course or a program and all this sort of stuff. You don't have to fucking you can press a couple of buttons. Go to a meetup, go to a circle. Big thing I've got on here too, by the way, and why a lot of people are easily distracted right now. No connection with them on the inside. Connection with spirit or God or source. I'm not talking about religious distortions here. That's actually the key for me. That's been the real work for me. Connecting into here, working through the layers that have me looking outside of myself when I'm not feeling good enough, or I'm feeling down, or I'm comparing. Or there is a powerful distraction that brings up emotion. Seriously. You want to know why they shove something like, or they perpetuate wars and things. I go back to it, this wild man revolution, and I didn't make my point around this actually earlier in here. Have a look at the progression of the last century and a half, especially. In the last century and a bit more, the men go off to war. The ones who work through the war, they've switched off their emotions, or they're so traumatized that they've tucked it all away. And this is my genius zone trauma too. But the men, and this is over and over again, when the men go away, the women have stepped into the man's role. This is why there's a bunch of pussy men now. And I'm saying it straight up. We have respect, doesn't mean we agree. There's a bunch of pussy men around there wearing dresses everywhere. I don't care what you see yourself generally, but as an example, as a role model, as a father, as a man, I don't see that. But this is why it's happened now, because all them years ago, these magicians, these puppeteers, whatever you want to call them, they say wars are great. They make heaps of money. But we're going to disempower the fucking man. The wild man. And they're at the point where they can succeed. They can. They're not going to. But when the men went away, they shut off all their emotions. They had to harden up even more. What happened to the man who used to take his son under his sleeve, go out on the farm or into the shop, teach you the skills when you're young, bring you up to run the family business? He cared. That was his way of showing love. And there was connection there. That got taken away. And you could say everyone has a choice, but what if we be real here for a moment? And they went with their heart to defend what they thought they were defending, their country and their family. And this is what they played on. And it's worked so far. But as the men went away, shut off all their feeling centers, their emotions, saw some pretty fucked up traumatic shit, lost friends, lost mates, death, blood spilled everywhere. And the women stepped into the masculine role. This is where the unhealthy part of the feminine movement come from. And I'm like, there's positives of all of this that comes through it. Human evolution happens. But when the woman stepped in and had to look after the kids and then had to go get a job, I'm all for women's independence. Don't get me wrong. And not equal pay. I think everyone should get paid what they deserve. We get paid more. I couldn't give two shits. It's not about that. But what happened, and it's been happening and perpetuated over and over with war. Woman stepped into this, started demasculating the man, and she masculined up. Done a great job. Women are phenomenal beings. Sometimes I feel that you women out there can do a lot more than men. But it happened back then. And then it happened again, and happened again, and happened again. We get to this now. This is ingrained in our unconscious. This is imprinted. That's why there's so much confusion right now. Well, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't call that man that. It's the pronoun stuff. Like, what the fuck? You can call yourself what you want. I'm cool with that. We have respect. Does not mean we agree. That's why I grounded into this at the start. But a big thing that keeps happening that drives this is these wars. Again and again and again. And again and again. It is ingrained, imprinted. But what's happening in the last decade especially, there's always been people speaking up about this, but more so now. More people are waking up to that these wars are intentional. That these people that have been leading the world or ruling the world do not have our best interests at heart. And just with this little bit of awareness, curiosity comes in. These wars, they are set up to make money. Remember, guys, the fiat system is a bullshit system. The debt system, it's invisible money made by a printing machine, by the Federal Reserve. It's not federal at all. It's a private corporation, the private banks, the federal there. Why do you think this is happening? And they paint Russia. Vladimir Putin is a bad guy. Russia in all the movies for so long is the bad people. They're bad. What happened with the Rothschilds? New World Order. Did Putin stand up for them? And I'm not saying Putin is a great guy. I think he's doing good for humanity. I really do. Politics in general, the way countries are run and the world's run is fucked, and it's an old system anyway. That's what I believe. But we need a transition. And we actually do need some strong leaders right now that are in these political systems. We do. We actually need them to be strong now for the systems to change. Whatever you believe, war is no good. It hasn't been for a long time. But this inner wild that I talk about, this wild man that got switched off all them years ago, now's our chance for it to rise. And it comes from coming back to our feeling center. It comes back to going, no, I don't believe a lot of this shit. Why don't I believe it? Because I've worked on my kingdom and this model of the world that's working. The beliefs that I have in that and have it working. This out here doesn't fit that. These people don't give a fuck about other humans. In mine, I do. And the people in there care, and it's working. Again, if yours isn't, this is where your focus should be. On your kingdom, on your model of the world, your reality. If there's parts that aren't working, that's your focus. If you don't have the tools, now there's time to tool up, skill up. The biggest skills we have, one of the biggest tools or resources we have at our disposal now is asking for fucking help and support, speaking up. And I'm not spinning that it's okay not to be okay. Well, it's okay to express that you're not okay. It's not okay to stay in that shit. So many fucking taglines out there that are distorted and But anyway, so this mess needs to happen. Not war, this mess needs to happen, guys. And we need to be in the mess here in our kingdom, cleaning out the shit for this external stuff to change, because whatever you think about what the leaders and the puppets are doing now, I believe they're clearing out a lot of fucking bad guys as part of this paradigm shift. And that's the mess. You got to remember who controls the media. Who are the governments really looking after? The private corporations. The private corporations, people. It's not a conspiracy. Why is the New South Wales government listed on Dun & Bradstreet? Why is the Queensland government and a lot of the police on Dun & Bradstreet? Go and have a look at it. They're private corporations. They're in it for profit and money. Why are we dead at sea right now? What is the birth certificate really for? Why are we not written in law as living men and living women? This is not hidden information and conspiracy. Because these people for a long, long time, whether they're human or not, I don't know. They don't have any feelings. They don't. There's a bloodline out there that doesn't have feelings. I don't know if you guys know that. So much of this. But anyway, they don't. But what if this mess that's happening around the world right now, you start to tune into the fact that it's part of a lot of bad people leaving the planet? What if you just had that perspective or invited yourself to get curious around that? What if the same players that started all the wars, all of them, the big ones anyway, the ones that have been shoved down our throat. What if the same people are the same people that are behind the media? Have you not questioned that? Behind the Rona, same people. Don't get caught up in all this stuff, guys. There's a lot of bad people leaving the planet right now. That's my perspective on that. But my point with all of this, why I wanted to come and share this, why I'm most passionate about people getting their shit in order, their house in order, their kingdom in order. What do you want to do it? That's how we change the world. It's as simple as that. It is how we change the world. When that is in order, we can go to the other kingdoms. We can spread the word. We can invite other kingdoms in. This is working for me. Fucking join in. Copy me. If we all do this, people around us, the kids are going to model it. If we have a map and we follow our map, the map can change. But if we have a map, we have our targets set, the mind needs this. We're working on trusting our inner guidance. We're feeling. Remember the little people of the world right now, they're modeling every single bit of this. Every single bit. You want to know what drives me? Yes, helping people get their kingdom in order. Helping people, seeing them get results from rock bottom to success, from okay to fucking epic, from working through broken down relationships or businesses to having some fucking flow and momentum and abundance in life. Whatever it is, to seeing the clients, yeah. But seeing everyday people take responsibility and back themselves, that drives me. Seeing people give a fuck about what's going on in their neighborhood, their kingdom, and doing something about it. That drives me. That motivates me. It motivates me the most every day when I get up. I get a huge hug from my little man, and I know in that moment there, I'm already changing things. I get to see him every day. I'm not being sent off to the other side of the world, and no disrespect to all you people that have gone and relatives and all that are fought in war. We've got an opportunity now to change this, and it's not going to happen overnight. I think things are going to get messier before they get better. But again, the way I'm navigating my life, because I feel my kingdom is flowing great. And I've got so many great things going. When stuff like this happens, I can look at it for what it is. I can practice discernment and I stick to my fucking map. And I want more people to do that. So what I love about this platform, about this podcast, I can come here in free flow. I think it's the first time I had notes, and not even really notes. It was just I was going into some stuff before about what I was going to talk about. But what I love about this here, guys, is none of this is scripted. I felt really, really fired up to share this, just to make some key points instead of me sitting on them. I don't want to see people get caught up in this deception and distraction. I really don't. It's already happening massively. What's going on your home turf? And yeah, have awareness. What's going on in Australia here, guys? Seriously, what are the politicians pulling right now? What are they hiding? What are they trying to pass through parliaments and shit? What's going on here? Don't lose sight of that, guys. Don't lose sight of that. That's what's really important now. And again, if any of this stuff I've mentioned in here, you need help and support, please reach out. Drop a comment below. You don't have to buy my shit. Even my shit's fucking awesome. It's not about that. It's about taking personal responsibility for yourself right now and doing something about the shit you're not happy about. I don't know doesn't cut it anymore. She'll be right doesn't cut it anymore. I'll just live a content life. You know, one of the biggest things that actually frustrates me, and I see this showing up in a lot of men right now. I see this showing up and it frustrates the fuck out of me, is a lot of men don't want to play a bigger game, or they'll hit one goal and then they'll take the foot off the accelerator. We are built to perform, men. We are built that way. But most of us are not performing nowhere near our full potential. We're not in top gear yet, men, and I want to see more men in top fucking gear. Another element to this. I could go on and on, but thank you everyone for tuning in and listening. I've pushed this one forward because I was inspired and I was motivated. If you haven't already checked out the earlier podcast, please check them out. Right back to Mr. Aaron Baldock. I'm going to have him on again really, really soon. A super great way to start. Mr. Andrew Scolari, Dave Berriman. I've had some amazing guests recently. Young Don Morosini talking about a 50K super ultra marathon and the trials and tribulations with that. And again, a most recent one, Joby Balgi, one coming up. I've got amazing guests coming up. I've got the current Masters World, I think it's welterweight maybe, boxing champion coming on very, very soon, which is so exciting. Again, the Wild Man Revolution podcast. The whole premise was to highlight men doing great in the world. Doesn't mean I'm always going to have guests, because I really want to be able to use this platform to do what I've done today, to just share how I'm feeling, how I see things. But why do I share this? To encourage more men to speak the fuck up, but stand up. Keep standing up. Stand taller. Play a bigger fucking game. Thank you, everyone. Check it out. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and all the places. Check me out on my socials. But again, this is a place where I really get to flow now. So thank you for tuning in, guys. See you later.